In this video, we're going to look at the dashboard area and explain what everything is here in terms of what you can see when you log in and what all this information means. So we're in a demonstration account here, which has a number of opportunities and leads in it. So the first box here is your opportunities, and you'll see a date window here, which by default will usually show the lifetime of your account, but you can change this by clicking on this and choosing a particular date, the last 7 days, for example, or for example, last month, this year, last year. So one way to use this, for example, is that whatever the period of the week is, you can just hit last week and it will show you Monday to Sunday of the previous week if you're using that as a generic reporting period. The other thing you can do within this is actually select dates on the calendar. So if, for example, I wanted to see the first 2 weeks of October, I can click on this Tuesday, and then I can click through till the following Monday, for example. There you can see it highlights the area I've selected, and I can hit the tick box. Now in this case, this is basically showing that I haven't had any leads come into the system in that period, right? So what that does is it shows you any leads that were entered into the system within that period, right? So I'm going to put this back to, right down the bottom, I'm going to put this to this year, okay, and just hit that, and then I'll see I've got my information that comes back here, right? There we go. So at that date field, you can change across any of these areas here. You just click on the dates and you can change it. Now, the other area here is what these numbers actually mean here. So the opportunities is basically contacts that have been put into an opportunity pipeline. Now, again, that's something covered in another video, but in this case, we see there are 38 contacts that are in various stages of a pipeline, right? And so what we see here is that we see there are 11 closed, as in that means they were won, 23 still in an open status, and 4 that are lost. And again, we'll cover what those mean in a separate video about managing your opportunities pipeline. Now we see the pipeline value overall, and we see the cash value allocated to those leads. So in this case, we can see there's a total value in the pipeline of $18,997. Within that, there's been 5,700 of closed deals, as in one, and then still in the open status is $11,297 of value, and lost are the leads marked as lost that they chose not to engage in our services. Then we have the conversion rate, which is basically the number of, basically closed deals divided by your total number of leads, right? Now there's another view of this still on the page here, which is your funnel view, okay? So this will tell you the particular conversion or the particular stages that those leads are in a graphic here like this funnel. Now if you have more than one pipeline, you can hit on these 3 little dots here and you can change to a different pipeline. So here I have this introductory program and I can see, I'll just walk you through what this means. So these numbers are inclusive, right? So what that means is that it's 37 leads, and then of those leads, 22 booked a call, right? So it doesn't mean that there's 37 people here and then there's another 22 people here. What it's saying is that 37 people came into the pipeline, and of those 37 people, 22 progressed to the booked call stage. And then of those 22, 17 progressed to the attended stage. Now, the one category is a little bit different because that's not actually a stage in our pipeline. That's just if someone is marked as whether or not they signed up or did not sign up, right? So in this case, what we see is that there's 17 people were at this stage of an introductory program. So in this case, they attended a session is what we're calling it. And of that, 11 of them were marked as 1. And you see that's where we see the value as 5,700. That's the value that we entered as to how much those conversions were actually worth to us. And that ties into this number up ahead, right? So basically what you're seeing here is a visual representation of your funnel. And again, you can toggle the dates and you can toggle between, as I mentioned, between the actual which pipelines it is. Now, the other important thing that you'll see on this view is any tasks that are assigned to you. If you have different users in the system, or if you're a user, you will see the tasks that are just assigned to you. So this is not a view of overall tasks in the system. It's the tasks that are assigned to you as a user. And we'll cover what that means in terms of users in another video. And then from down here, we have your lead source report. And this is basically when your leads come in, you can have it marked as to where they came from. So in this case, we have different forms and it's saying where these leads came from. So at a practical level, this might mean that you have a Facebook ad that goes to a particular form. And so when they come in from that ad, it'll be marked as a source from, that Facebook form. And then you might have a different form that sits on your website on a particular offer, and you might have that as website form. And then you'll see not just the total leads coming in from those forms, but you'll see the conversions of it. And this is really helpful in understanding not just the number of leads coming in from a certain source, but the actual conversion percentages of those leads, including the actual value coming in. So it's really helpful information. And again, you can adjust this by certain date periods if you need. And then below that, we have details on your reviews and ratings. All below down here. And reviews and ratings is something that we do cover in more depth in a separate video. But that's the main things that you'll need to know from your dashboard. The other thing that you'll see that I will cover in this video in your dashboard is basically what these little buttons up here are doing, because these icons here will actually persist throughout, whether you're on the dashboard, conversations, opportunities, whatever you are, they'll always be there, right? So basically this means that you have this little box here will bring up recent conversations of any contacts that are assigned to you, right? So you can click on any of those and it will take you direct to that conversation. If you have an agency account, you'll actually see a little blue arrow here that will take you back to your dashboard. If you'd like to make a phone call, you can actually dial out directly from the system using this green button here. Now, important to note, if you have multiple numbers, you can actually select which caller ID you want to use before entering the number and hitting the call button. And then finally, you can sign out via this button up here. If you do have multiple accounts, you'll find you can toggle between them up here with this drop-down menu here. However, if you just have the one account, you won't need to worry about that feature. So that's your dashboard area and how you use that area. In the next video, we will look at how to actually use the Conversations tab.